Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be part 2 of my series of the #1 product for these drugstore brands. So I've already posted the first part, which we talked about 4 different brands. Today we're talking about a new category of products and new brands. So we're talking about NYX, we're talking about CoverGirl, Physicians Formula, and Milani. And as always, the #1 product that I am sharing with you is what I personally think. When I think of the brand, what do they do really well? From personal experience, I have a lot of product in my collection. I test out products every single day. And when I think of these brands, this is the #1 product. And again, this is just my opinions. It may vary from person to person, and that is okay. So I hope that these videos are helpful. I hope that you enjoy them. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So if you want to see the products from these brands, then just continue watching. We're going to kick things off with NYX. This brand is a little bit more of a hit and miss for me. Some things are really great and some things are just okay. Some things are actually not that great. And I think that's something that you will find across the board with any brand. But when I think of NYX, the one product and category that I feel like they do really well, what they are, I think, best known for is brows. They've got lots of different brow options, clear brow gels. This is actually clear. This brow glue, just mine looks kind of old and disgusting because I've used it so much, and over time of using it, you pick up your brow product and it inevitably ends up inside of the tube. So that's why mine looks like this. But they do sell this glue in different tones as well. I just had the clear. But they have the Thick It Stick It, which is a tinted brow product that has actual fibers in it, and I will be demoing this one for you today. It's a thickening brow mascara. They've got different pencils, a micro pencil, one that's more of a newer one, the Powder Louder one. This is okay, and I think it's just okay for me because of the tone. I picked the shade Ash Brown, and it runs really, really dark. So I should have purchased a few shades lighter, but I didn't know that going into it, trying it for the first time as a new launch. So that is why I don't reach for this one as much. Today I am demoing the Micro Brow Pencil. I feel like this is probably the #1 brow product that they're known for, that tiny precise brow pencil. The shade I have is brunette. It does run a little bit warm, so I could kind of adjust that, but I feel like the formula is pretty solid on this. And if I'm going to use products from NYX, I almost always will pick the brow product from my NYX collection of products. And I can't do this video about NYX brows without talking about the Lift and Snatch. Mine is still in a box. This is actually my backup. I have the shade Brunette. I used one up entirely. When I took it on my trip this past summer for our vacation, it actually busted, so I had to throw it away because literally the ink was just kind of spewing out of it. So it's definitely time to bust this open. I have been using other brow pens and I have missed using this. This was like my go-to brow pen. I do have some others that I like that I think are great, some from the drugstore as well, but this Lift and Snatch is solid. They have lots of different colors to choose from. It's a typical brow pen that you can use to fill in like bald spots or to fill in your brow entirely, which I've done that. But as you can see, I do like a very full, thick brow. So for me, I use this in a form of filling in spot touch-ups kind of thing, not necessarily entirely filling in with the brow pen, because it does take a long time to use a brow pen to get to this result. So I usually do the pencil and then kind of spot fill with this, which I didn't do that today for the demo. I just used the pencil. And then I use the NYX Thick It Stick It Brow Gel, which is a thickening brow mascara, actually, is what it's called. And I like this because it actually has fibers to build and thicken the brow. So my natural brows, as you will see, like the before and after, my natural brows are extremely thin, very sparse, lots of bald spots. That is something that I did to myself because I used to do different things to my brows. Pluck, wax, thick, thin, you name it, I did it, and now I'm paying the price for it, where my brows actually don't grow anymore. They just stop growing. So I have to use products to make my brows look thicker, fuller, and an actual full shape. So I feel like NYX is pretty solid when it comes to brow products. They've got something for everyone, whether you want a pencil, something with a tint, if it's a gel, a brow pen, you name it, they have it. They also have a brow pomade, which I do own, but I have not tried it yet. I purchased that months ago and I completely forgot about it. So I do need to try that out. So I'm not including that in this video. Based off of my experience, it's probably going to be good just because these products from NYX in the brow category have never disappointed me. So for NYX, the #1 product is brows. Next up is CoverGirl. This one was a little bit harder for me to narrow it down simply because I don't have a lot of products that I truly love from this brand. Some things are great, some things are not, but just kind of taking my own personal opinions and thoughts and putting that to the side. When I look at the brand of CoverGirl, what do I see? what I see is a line that caters to more mature skin. So for CoverGirl, I feel like the number one thing is the Simply Ageless line. I do have some products that fall in that Simply Ageless line of products. So the Essence that is fairly new, the Simply Ageless 3-in-1 foundation. I'm going to demo the Instant Wrinkle Blurring Press Powder, which I think is really great. But I have to hand it to CoverGirl for creating a line that's more geared towards mature skin. That doesn't mean that someone in their 20s can't use the products. It's really for anyone. But what makes the Simply Ageless line different is the inclusion of skincare benefits. And when you see something like Instant Wrinkle Blurring, it's made for those with more mature skin. And I actually really do like this blurring powder. I am demoing it to you today with a powder puff, and you can see how smooth my skin feels. Incredibly soft, feels like baby skin, and it just kind of blurs the look of my concealer blending into my foundation, and it blurs the look of my pores. It's a really nice sort of touch-up powder that doesn't feel or look cakey or heavy, and you can use it with a puff, you can use it with a brush, you can apply it any way. You can use this as your touch-up on the go. But I have to say that CoverGirl is the brand at the drugstore that has the most products geared towards mature skin. They have foundations, they have primers, they have lip products, they have the powders. And I know there are other brands that may have a product here and there that is designed for more mature skin. But overall, I think that CoverGirl is that one brand that can give someone with mature skin an entire makeup routine. And they have more products that I don't have here to show you that are really great. So if you use some of those Simply Ageless products that you really love, share with me your favorites in the comments below, because I would be interested in trying those in the future as well. But for CoverGirl, I have to say that Simply Ageless line that's geared towards mature skin is what they do best. Next is Physicians Formula, and you may think of this product and this brand and think of one thing, the butter bronzer, and you'd be right. I would say that the number one product from Physicians Formula is that butter bronzer. This is an incredible bronzer. It's smooth, it's creamy, it blends really nicely. When this product first launched, there was only one shade, and it's the sort of original classic, and this one is just called bronzer, and I think this is one of the original shades. But since then, they've expanded the range to include some different tones, undertones, some even deeper, richer colors to be a little bit more inclusive, which I think is really great. They've taken this concept of the butter bronzer and made it into creams. They have one that it's in like a little puffy tube. It's supposed to be a dupe for a very popular high-end product, which we already know, and they've tried to dupe it, and that is actually pretty good. They have it in a serum form, they have it in a cream, you name it, they've got it in different formulas. But overall, I feel like the best thing that Physicians Formula does, hands down, is the butter bronzer, and this smells like a vacation. The moment you open this, it's like it transports you back to your summer vacation. You smell it, and it puts you right on the beach somewhere tropical and fun, and escape right now, the cold that we're in right now in the snow. But if you are sensitive to fragrance, just know that their products pretty much all have fragrance in them, which I kind of wish that they wouldn't have done that. So that would be my one thing that I would probably maybe not necessarily change, but maybe offer a fragrance-free version of their butter bronzer for those who are sensitive to fragrances, and sort of keep the original, because many people love this. This is popular, this is great, and this is pretty solid. It's a little bit more pricey at the drugstore because Physicians Formula is a little bit more expensive, but if you pick up this bronzer, you will notice that it's just soft. It feels like silk. It feels kind of buttery and smooth on the skin, so the name is very accurate. But the look and the feel of it, you can't go wrong. So for Physicians Formula, it's got to be that butter bronzer. And lastly, we're talking about Milani products. So when I think of Milani, they do a lot of really great things. They have some solid products, but the number one thing that I feel like Milani does extremely well, that no other drugstore brand does yet, is the baked blushes. These are very interesting. Baked blushes have a very interesting sort of process when they're being manufactured. They start off as a cream, they're put on these terracotta tiles, it's baked like a batch of cookies in an oven, and that's why you get that sort of baked, smooth, silky soft texture, but you also get that sort of raised dome look to it. Mine that I'm demoing today is the shade called Dolce Pink. Mine is broken and it made a mess, but that's the color that I have on right now, and it's incredibly beautiful. It gives the prettiest, most beautiful, natural kind of satiny glow to the skin. It's not overly frosted, it's not glittery, it doesn't sit and look weird on the skin. It's a really nice formula, and I think it just goes back to that baked formula, that it starts off as a cream. It's a creamy formula that is baked, so therefore it's going to look more skin-like on when you apply it versus just your typical traditional pressed powders that can be a little bit on the drier side. But this one specifically that I'm holding here is called Petal Primavera. This is one of my very favorites. It looks almost like nothing, but I tell you, this looks incredibly natural on the skin. And this one is quite old. I've had this for maybe 2.5 years, and it feels so smooth, so soft, and it performs the same as it did at day one. The color of that Petal Primavera is such a pretty soft, like natural flush to the cheeks with a hint of a peachy tone. And then the other shade that I had that I was holding up that is actually broken. If I may hold it so you can see, it is broken. So the dome part kind of broke because I dropped it. But this one, the Dolce Pink, is the one that I have on today, and I will swatch it for you. It's a little bit more of a kind of cooler pink shade, but again, it's really soft, really natural, and you can definitely build these up. And of course, we can't forget about that Luminoso shade, which went viral a long time ago, probably over a decade at this point. So they have been doing these sort of baked blushes for a very long time. They do have other type of blush products in their line, but number one product from Milani, it's gotta be those baked blushes. So there you have it. That's the number one product, in my opinion, from NYX, CoverGirl, Physicians Formula, and Milani. I hope that this video was helpful, kind of giving you an idea and kind of guiding you in the right direction if you're wondering what is really great about these specific brands. I hope that this video was able to answer that for you and kind of guide you in the right direction with what to purchase, what's actually good, because not everything that every single brand makes is really great. So I hope that these videos are helpful, this series that I'm doing. And if you haven't seen the first part, I will link it in the cards that'll pop up on the screen, and you can check out the first part, because I also did talk about my number one product pick, in my opinion, again, from these specific brands. So I'm going to have everything listed and linked for you down below. I'm also going to list the additional products that I'm wearing today. In case you are curious, some of these products that I'm pairing with today's grouping of products are from the first part of the video, so you check that out so you can see what those products are. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for being here, for watching. Share with me down below what your favorite products are from the drugstore. If you've used products from this brand, what are your favorites? What are your go-tos, your recommendations? I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe for more videos like this in the future. I post every Tuesday and every Friday, and we can also be friends on Instagram. I'm there periodically. I post, and you'll see my username pop up here on the screen. Take care, you guys, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.